sorrow makes us become children again. It destroys our differences and our intellect. The wisest knows nothing. That's one of my favorite quotes. Hi, my name is Lavern Nepaul. I am the founder of Life After Leon Foundation. I created this foundation after I lost my 16-year-old son to suicide in 2008. At the time of his passing, I did not know anything about mental illness, and I was never aware of teenagers who were suffering with depression. I didn't understand the signs. And in the back of my mind, after he died, I always think to myself, maybe if I had just met one person who shed light on teen suicide, maybe I could have saved him. So this foundation is about networking with other grieving mothers and bringing awareness to teen suicide, and also reaching out to grieving mothers to help them to cope with their pain. I want to tell every mother that regardless of how you feel right now, it's not going to be the same way all the time. With time and a good support system, you can be healed. Before my son's death, I wrote a self-help book. The book title is 14 Ways to Accomplish Your Mission. But at the time, it was not about grief. It was about young girls, young mothers. It was about overcoming hurdles. It was about maintaining a positive attitude about life. It was about going out there to find your purpose and to fulfill them and to enjoy your life. So for me, when this happened, it just happened out of nowhere. I did not see it coming. So I had to create something to bring awareness. And if I can share my story and save the life of someone else's child, then I feel that it is worth it. In August 2008, I lost my 16-year-old son to suicide. At the time, I knew nothing about grief. My scars of life up until that moment was dealing with domestic abuse, dealing with poverty, dealing with my parents' separations, and just dealing with problems with relationships and finances and just getting by. Up until that time, I did not know anything about grief. People ask me now, how did I cope? How did I get over it? And how did I deal with it? Now, first of all, there is no getting over it. You don't get over grief, but you learn how to cope. And sometimes I think you develop coping skills, or some of us were wired to be strong. Some of us have survival tactics that can really, really come through in the worst times. But everyone is different. What works for one person may not work for somebody else. I always say some of the things that helped me to get through this. It is 11 years now, so I have to really say I'm grateful to be in a better space with it. It was hard because grief just sends you automatically into a dark space. The pain is unbearable because, first of all, from the very moment that you give birth to a little human being, you're bonded with them. And when you lose them to death, you still can't let go. You want to parent your child. Your brain goes with them into the grave. Your thoughts are with them. And so you're vacillating from one world to the next, And for those of us who lose one child and then we have another child or children to take care of, it can drive you crazy because you can't function. When my son just died, first of all, I found him deceased. So it was a nightmare. I was traumatized. I'm scarred for life. I'm paranoid of nights. Every time when it's getting dark, I feel that something bad is going to happen to me again. I constantly check my doors, check my windows. Your brain goes into a frenzy. And it's almost like you're into this psychotic mode, and you try to function the best that you can, but it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of time to heal. It takes a lot to process what has happened to you. But for me, some of the things that helped me was that I automatically wanted answers. I was so desperate because growing up in Jamaica, I didn't even know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who killed themselves. So it was really the furthest thing from my psyche. I've never dealt with anything of this magnitude, and there were a lot of things that maybe now that I've learned about mental illness, there were a lot of things that maybe I should have paid attention to. So now I have to carry that guilt with me about how sensitive my son was. And when he complained that he didn't like school because he said the children at school make too much noise and his head hurt. But I couldn't relate to it because for me, school was my happy place. I love school, I love life, I love learning. My son was 16 when he passed away, and my daughter was 11. Me and my daughter were extroverts. We make friends easily. Nothing bothers us. Everything is good. I've just always been this positive person who is high on life. I laugh for the simplest thing. It's like I have a built-in machine of happiness within my spirit. And when my son died, I was so shattered. My entire perspective on life shifted to something else. And I had to come to the understanding that life will never be the same for me ever again. But what helped me, though, was that I delved into so many researches. Because, see, I was born with an addiction. And my addiction is my love of reading. I love to read. When I was a little girl in Jamaica, whenever I went to the library and I found what I called in my little mind a good book, oh my God, I went home and I'm in heaven. And little did I know that all of this and everything that I've read in my entire life, up to the time when my son died when I was 34, up to that time, I think everything was preparing me for that moment. I didn't choose it to happen, but I had to find a way to cope with it. And I had to find a way to forgive myself for not understanding it. I had to forgive my son also, because at the time I kept saying, how could he do this to me? How could he do this to me? I took it very personal. So other mothers kept me under their broken wings and helped me to understand that people whose minds are healthy do not kill themselves. Because when your brain is working well and your entire psyche and your entire nervous system is intact, you fear death. So the moment you don't have that fear anymore, something is not working right. And I read so many books on mental illnesses, and I got answers that were somewhat satisfying, where I could understand how it could lead up to that. But I still wanted him back now, because now I wanted to fix him. So it was another chapter of grief, another dose of pain, because now I just wanted him back. But I think about the third or the fourth year, I stopped wanting him back. And this is why. Because by then I had met so many grieving mothers, and I have fallen in love with these women, and I started to feel their pain. And each time that I stepped out of my own grieving story and stepped into the story of another mother who lost her child, I felt so bad for them. I felt sorry for them. I had so much empathy, and a lot of times, especially the mothers who lost their only child, I wanted to bring back their children for them. And each time that I stepped out of my story into someone else's story, whenever I came back to my story and my sorrows, it was less intense. I did not know that that was going to be my turning point in grief. I bonded so well with these mothers, So I think by the third or fourth year, I'm like, I don't want to undo this thing because I just can't see myself not being friends with them. I just couldn't see myself not able to relate to their pain. So that was what eased me a little bit into acceptance. Fast forward to 8 years after my son died, I ended up giving birth to another boy. And he's now 3 years old. I gave birth to him at age 42. So my daughter, who was 11 years old at the time, now she's 22. So I have a 22-year-old and a 3-year-old. So people ask me all the time, how did that gap? And I always say, I have a son who's 27 now, but he's not here anymore. And because when you lose a child, you just can't stop talking about their existence. You can't say, oh, I have one child or two child. No, you have to have them included as well. And that's something that every grieving mother does. So after I gave birth to my son, I felt a new burst of energy. I felt like, okay, God is fixing my life. God has redeemed my pain. And I tell every mother, it's not a replacement. You cannot replace a child. But honestly, having like another son, it did something magical to the void that I had in my heart for years. So now I still hurt for Leon. I still wish that it didn't happen that way to him. But I also see where I chose to use this horrible experience as a gift. Because now I understand some of the signs of suicide. I don't know everything. I can't predict anything. But I can probably talk to somebody else about dealing with a sensitive child where everything hurts and help them to understand that maybe something is wrong beyond the normal way of life. About a month and a half ago, I was putting my son to bed. I have this habit of going online at nights on my phone to read the Jamaican Gleaner. I came across this headline that said, unmanned garbage truck crushes 7-year-old boy. The picture that they have of this baby boy, Benjamin Bear, he was 3 years old. I started crying so much because my son, who I'm holding in my arms, is 3 years old, and plus I have lost a son before. So I know both experiences, and I started crying so much because I know the hell that his mother is going to be going through. And I kept praying for her, and just, my mind and my thoughts were just with her throughout that entire night. I got up in the morning and I started searching for more information. Turns out, a few days later, I saw an interview with her, and her pain was so transparent. And I remember in my heart, I'm thinking, I have to find her, I have to get in touch with her. And with the help of Claude Sinclair, I did. Sir Sinclair, I salute you. I thank you so much for getting me in touch with Josephine Campbell. I got her number and I called her. And during the conversation, I know her brain was scattered because I know she's getting a lot of phone calls. I know she's suffering the loss of her child. I know how hard it is for you to function, how hard it is to even catch your breath. You panic, you're traumatized, it's almost like you're numb beyond life. And so I called her, and I remember saying to her, when I heard her voice on the phone, and it's the same voice that you saw in the interviews, my heart just broke for her. And I remember saying to her, hi Josephine, I'm Lavern, and I said, I know what you're going through. I've lost a son too. And I think when I said that, I got her attention a little bit. And we started talking, and after that, the phone calls just kept going back and forth, and she would send me some texts that were so meaningful. And I started to bond with this girl. I falling in love with her as I normally fall in love with grieving mothers in a sisterly way, where I just wanted to do something about their pain because I know how horrible that pain is. I know the language of grief. And Josephine is just such a beautiful, an extremely beautiful soul. I called her an angel, and this is why. Regardless of the fact that she was in so much pain, her true personality started to come out during our conversations. She would cry. We would cry together. We FaceTime and we cry together. And then she would come alive telling me everything that she can remember about her son. The memories that she shared with me are precious memories. And I cannot thank her enough for allowing me to be part of her journey. So, I'm 45 years old. Josephine is 28. She's a baby. This girl is a baby. She could be my daughter. Had my son survived, he'd be 28 next month. Josephine could be my child. I'm 17 years older than her. So, I called her my baby sister because I always wanted a baby sister. My mother has 4 children. I'm the oldest one and I'm the only girl. I have 3 younger brothers. And then she latched onto me and called me Big Sis. And we formed this beautiful sisterly friendship. And I'm grateful for that. And I want to talk about some of the things that I know that she's going through. First of all, when I watched the way she was looking at her son lying in the casket, oh my God, no mother on earth should go through that. The morning of the burial, I couldn't even imagine, even though I've been through it, I couldn't imagine how it was going to be for her. Because see, this is a mother who sat there with her children through thick and thin. I've listened to all the struggles, and we shared very intimate details about our struggles with poverty in Jamaica. So I can relate to a lot of things that she has been going through up until the time of her son's passing. And I was at that stage in my life where I'm like, oh my God, of everything that I've been through in my life, domestic violence, so many struggles, and then my son dying on top of that, really? So I could hear that in her voice, like, how much more can I bear? And our relationship blossomed, and I try to be there for her on the phone as much as I can. And again, I thank you so much, Claude Sinclair. This man is a man of integrity. He's a man of compassion. I have watched his YouTube videos before, and for some reason, I gravitated to him because I think he made so much sense to me, based on his level of experience, based on his intelligence, and I see him as someone who's extremely honest and trustworthy. And so I want to thank you so much, Claude, for your foundation. Thank you for putting me in touch with Josephine. Thank you for allowing yourself to be used as the vessel to transfer the funds to Josephine. You made such a dignified presentation yesterday, and I want to do more, and I want to get others on board because, okay, we know that the money cannot bring back Benjamin. I know that. But at the same time, she has 2 little girls. And when you're dealing with grief and trauma, as I said, you're juggling 2 worlds. Part of your mind is gone to the grave with your child. It doesn't matter what someone says. It doesn't matter how much you pray, how much you read your Bible. We're humans. God gave us maternal instinct, and we're glued to our children in life and in death. So I know that she'll be sitting there with her baby in her arms. Her mind is in her son's grave. Because I did that for years. I'm sorry. I did that for years. Jafine told me a couple nights ago that she said, Lavern, I know he's not coming back, but I still go outside to sit and look. I'm sorry. She said I go outside to sit, and every sound I hear, I'm looking to see if he's gonna come back. And I said to her, Jafine, I did it too through the window. Everywhere I lived, I kept looking out through the window at night to see if I was going to see my son walking down the road coming to me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I feel her pain. And when she says to me that they got rid of his arm without her knowledge, and she said when she looked in the casket to know that his arm was amputated in the accident, and they got rid of it without her knowledge. And when she heard that, she's now beyond traumatized. So it's tragedy on top of tragedy. And she's a baby. Jafine is 28 years old, and she's a beautiful young girl. She's a beautiful mother. I even told her, I said, Jafine, I think you did a better job than what I did with my son, because I had my son and I was very young, and I left him with my mother in Jamaica to come to America. And when he died, I remember thinking, oh my God, was this worth it? But Jafine, she sat there with her children. I'm pleading to anyone who is in the position to make a donation to her. Big Stone, Claude Sinclair, has the information to her account. Whatever you can give to her to help her to take care of her two little girls that she's left with, it's greatly appreciated. Because she's a grieving mother, and it's going to be hard when you're grieving the loss of your child. You're stuck with the trauma of how it happened, and then on top of it, you're trying to provide for your other children who needs you. So I'm kindly asking for donations for Jafine Campbell. Claude Sinclair will give the information to her bank account number. Thank you so much. In closing, I want to thank everyone for watching these videos. I want to thank everyone for their condolences. I want to thank everyone for their well wishes. And I want to thank everyone for their prayers and their words of encouragement. It's a great way to use social media to uplift each other. And if you know someone who is struggling with the loss of a loved one, please be kind enough and reach out to them, especially in the holiday season. It's extremely difficult. So please continue to support Jafine Campbell. And also I can be reached at lifeafterleon@yahoo.com.